Well, hey there, hero. It's David H. Lawrence the 17th with the penultimate video of the one-a-day video challenge for 2019. And I figured what I'd do is let you know about some of the plans that I have to do what I've been talking about a lot during this year, and that's increasing my chances of success. I went through a lot of different things this year, tried a lot of different things out, things like the Ivy Lee method and the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve and all kinds of things. And I've been putting a lot of them to use, and some of them have stuck. And like you might expect, some of them didn't so much. And that could be because I didn't try hard enough, but it likely is because it just didn't work for me. And what I've done is I looked back through all those things and I looked at the things that I'm still doing that I had been doing and that really did stick with me. And I made a list, and maybe this will help you. I don't know. I can only just share what I think is going to be most effective for me in the upcoming year. And my goal is to get stuff done. I've got a lot of things that I want to do. And mostly the reason, like I put in the show notes, is I'm feeling my mortality, you know? I'm feeling like I have certainly less time than I did, at the beginning of the decade, last year, last month. I'm closer to when I'll be leaving the earth. And I have more time now than I will have had at the end of this coming year, at the end of this coming month, or at the end of this coming hour. And so what am I going to do to maximize those things without making it feel like it's a struggle? You know, the things that really help your productivity best are things that not only help you get things done, but also give you joy while that's happening. And so that's what I wanted to do. And that's why I created this list. So the very first thing on the list is making a mess. I don't need to be perfect about all the things that I try to do, the things that I do, the things that I execute. I do want it to be professional, but it doesn't have to be spit polish perfect to be effective. So making a mess, having some things left on the floor, picking up some pieces and making it better, that's not such a bad thing. And it removes the pressure of being absolutely perfect. So number one, I'm going to make a mess. Little tiny mess. I can't really make all that much of a mess. It just bothers me. Number two is I'm going to fail forward. More failing forward, failing quickly, failing with the expectation of learning from those failures. I've said many times to myself, to you, to others, that there's a lot of value in failure. Sometimes more value than there is in success. And so failing and noticing what went wrong, what didn't go exactly as planned, what I could do better, what kind of worked but could work in a more structured way. Failing and seeing why I failed, that's big. So number two, failing forward. Number three, I'm going to use the tools that I already have instead of getting new tools unnecessarily. For a while there, I was, anytime somebody would come out with a new plugin for WordPress, I'd be like, yeah, I could use that, sure. AppSumo is a big reason for that. I love AppSumo, but they get you. They sure get you. And I feel like this year was a year of simplification, this past year, and of really looking at what works and what doesn't. And you can see the difference in how quickly VOHeroes.com responds to you versus how VO2GoGo, which had 10 years of bloat, responds to you. And so I'm going to continue that in the coming year. So number three, stick with the tools that I already have and don't add unnecessarily to my toolkit. Number four, I'm going to narrow down all the processes that I investigated throughout the year to the ones that really work for me. And that's kind of what this list is all about. But I'm going to really examine, I'm going to actually spend a couple of hours and go through everything and look for what, this is kind of like the highlights. And these are the things that really stuck out for me. But that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to narrow down all the processes that I tried this year. Maybe I didn't do so well at them. Maybe there was a reason for that. But I'm really going to examine that and see if they can be useful. And if not, I'm going to do what Marie Kondo says and say, thank you very much for your service. And off you go into the universe. So that's number four. Number five, I'm going to spend less time thinking about what I'm going to do and more time doing what I'm going to do. Now, I don't have a big hurdle to jump here. I don't feel like I spend an unnecessary amount of time thinking about things as opposed to doing things. But maybe there's a way I can make that better, because I do have a body of decision making behind me that has worked out pretty well. And this was a year of experimentation and challenge and so on. So I'm going to do a little bit less than that. That will help me, because instead of just thinking and maybe and should I and I'll just do it. You know, there will be bigger decisions that I'll spend a little bit more time thinking about, and smaller decisions that I won't spend so much time thinking about, because we tend to spend a pattern of time. You know, I really don't want to do something until I'm absolutely sure. So I'm going to do a little bit less than that and a little bit more just doing things and seeing what happens. Maybe failing, maybe making a mess, maybe using tools to do the things that I bought the tools to do, rather than thinking about doing the things with the tools that I bought that are supposed to help me get the things done that I'm supposed to do with the tools that I bought. Anyway, number 5, going to spend less time thinking about doing things and more time actually doing those things. And finally, number 6, very familiar to me, maybe it's familiar to you. I'm going to make sure that once again in 2020, I do more of what works and less of what doesn't. So when I actually get to the point of doing things, I'm actually going to make sure that they are things that I really think will be productive for me, and not necessarily joyless or just basically uninteresting things. And also things that don't work. Things that, even though I know clearly in my head they don't work, I still sometimes think, why doesn't this work? Let me try one more time. So I'm going to do more of what works. Number 6, I'm going to do more of what works and less of what doesn't. So 1 through 6, I'm going to make a mess. I'm going to fail forward. I'm going to use the tools I already have instead of adding more tools unnecessarily. I'm going to narrow down all the processes that I investigated this year to the ones that really work for me. And I'm going to spend less time thinking about things and more time doing things. And then finally, number 6, I'm going to do more of what works and less of what doesn't. And those are the 6 points that I'm going to concentrate on this year. In a couple of days, we're going to have our very first weekly video tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last video in this series. And there's a part of me that's pretty melancholy about that. But then there's a part of me that's really happy and feel accomplished about that. So I'm going to put all these things to use beginning Wednesday, January 1st, 2020. And we'll do our first once a week on Wednesday cast on that day. And we'll see what happens. Tell me what you think about these six steps. I'd love to know if you think these will be useful for you, or maybe you have something else you'd like to contribute. Your 6 steps. I don't know. Leave me a comment below this video. I'd love to know. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.